developing news tonight on the North Shore. Plum Island right now is completely off limits. Downed power lines are blocking the only road that leads to Plum Island. WBZ's Juli McDonald is live in Newburyport with more on what's happening there. Julie?
Well, David, we do have some new information at this hour. Right now, as you can see behind me, there are police at either end of the Plum Island Turnpike. They're checking IDs. That's how they're staying on top of who is passing on to Plum Island. Only residents at this time, and that's because of those power utility poles that are still leaning towards the road. So once again, right now, only residents allowed to pass once police check their IDs.
It's always exciting living here because you never know what's going to happen on the island.
Hours after the snow stopped falling, travel to and from Plum Island was at a standstill. The turnpike too dangerous to pass.
We went off the island to plow my daughter's driveway, and we tried coming back onto the island about 2:30, and they said that there were 3 telephone poles that were leaning, and they were worried about them falling down.
National Grid worked in whipping winds to stabilize the poles, but permanent repairs were impossible.
Mother Nature is really the one that's in control here. As long as those poles hold up and as long as everything, doesn't get any worse, we'll be in good shape.
Elsewhere along the North Shore, heavy wet snow took a major toll on old rotted trees.
So I was inside working and my wife started yelling and screaming.
Swampscott neighbors heard the crash on Roy Street as this tree snapped in half, crushing a car and taking down a utility pole and live wires with it.
I wanted to make sure that everyone in the house was okay. I looked out there and they were all just looking out the windows, so I knew nobody was injured.
So once again, right now, only residents of Plum Island are allowed to pass the turnpike and get home tonight. At one point this evening, there were cars lined up along this street just waiting until they could get home. But the winds were just so strong that there couldn't be permanent repairs. But now that they have significantly died down, it's going to allow crews to get closer to those poles, which might affect power outages to Plum Island while they make those permanent repairs. Live in Newburyport, Juli McDonald, WBZ News.